Seth Kaiba here, and today I want to talk about the 4 Shotos in Street Fighter 6. Obviously, they all have a lot of similarities, but it can be tricky to figure out who to main and what stands out from each of them. I want to go over the pros and cons of each Shoto compared to each other and help you decide who to main. And don't worry, as a Shoto main, you can just switch to whoever's stronger if they get nerfed. Smile. So to start off, I'm going to talk about Ryu. Ryu is the prototypical classic Shoto. He's what it's all based on. Ryu's been the face of Street Fighter for most of its lifespan, and he's always a super popular character, usually number 1 or 2, along with Ken. So pros of Ryu. He is considered one of the most honest characters in the game, so he does force you to learn the game fundamentally. You need to learn the fireball game, the DP game, spacing with punishing. Generally everything you do is on you, and you need to learn how to play him and work around that. So if you are trying to learn the game and you want to learn it by playing that classic neutral footsies, Ryu's going to be really good at teaching you that because you can't really skip any steps. Another pro to Ryu is he does have generally a pretty strong fireball game compared to their Shotos like Ken and Luke. You have 3 different speeds of your fireball, your EX, and then you have Denjin fireball. Ryu does also have pretty high damage that's easy to pick up, so I'm not going to say high damage as a pro to only Ryu because all of the Shotos except Ken have pretty high damage, so it's not really a pro of him compared to the others, but it is easy to get into. You can very quickly do a combo for like 3k damage, right? You can hit them with a standing heavy punch into drive rush. Like, you can do that combo, 3k, super easy, takes very little practice. So stuff like that, it lets you pick up the game a lot quicker. Not saying that the other characters are like significantly harder, but I do think he's the easiest to get into. So again, if you're learning the game, very strong fundamentally and easy to pick up. But now the cons of Ryu. Ryu does have the stubbiest buttons out of all the Shotos, so the least range. His crouching medium punches go as far. His crouching low forward, still a good button, but doesn't go as far as the others. His standing heavy punch, you do walk forward a bit, but it doesn't hit as far. You do have other ways to extend your range. Kind of throwing out stuff like donkey kick, forward, heavy kick. Again, that stubbiness can kind of throw you off and make things a little less consistent when you're trying to learn the footsie game. And then another con of his is being honest. Once you get better at the game, does have its flaws. Ryu, outside of the corner strike throw game and throw looping you, doesn't really have mix-up gimmicks, true 50-50, so he kind of has to, again, rely on that neutral game. Again, he's still strong, but that does kind of make it harder to open good players up on defense, so you kind of have to keep that in mind. All of his tools are reactable, they can be easily snuffed out. You have to get your anti-airs down, your fireballs, your neutrals. So again, the more you put in, the better you'll get. He's everything you do results wise is going to be from you. And then the last con I'm going to say is he does have to consider trading off Oki at times for his Denjin charge. So you can't do like your target combo into Denjin. You can do like donkey kick someone away into Denjin, but if you want Oki in a lot of situations, you're not going to be able to get that Denjin charge, which again is not a huge deal, but you are going to have to make that decision, and having to think about managing that resource and playing around it is something that he has to deal with and none of the others do. So next we're going to talk about Ken. Ken is generally the most popular character in the game alongside Ryu. He's a little flashier, he has a bit more depth to his combos, and can get fairly technical. So he's a really great counterpart to Ryu. Let's talk about the pros of him. So if you are stuck in the corner, Ken has a lot of great ways to get out. He can do his run Dragon Lash to swap sides. Ken can do his level 1 to swap sides. Tools like this are really nice in this game, being able to get out of the corner because it is rough. The corner is not where you want to be whatsoever, so being able to side swap is great. Another big pro of Ken is his corner carry. So really easy combo and one run Tatsu, and you've already taken them to the corner. Same with like his back throw It's just very strong. Getting people immediately to the corner and applying your pressure and your Oki is great, and Ken is the best at this for sure. Another pro of him is he has some really strong tools that are knowledge checks for players, but can also remain strong at high level, especially in certain matchups, such as his Jinrai kicks. They have multiple follow-ups that can trick people and frame trap them if they don't know to DI or EXDP or whatever. So you can definitely steal a lot of wins with those at lower level. And he also has his heavy Dragon Lash, which even at high level is a very strong tool to occasionally throw out to skip neutral and immediately be plus in your opponent's face. So again, I think having these very strong special tools, and Ryu has something like it too with this heavy Hashogeki, but it's a little harder to deal with. But now for the cons of Ken. The main one is he does have the least damage of all the Shotos, so you are going to have to focus more on optimizing your combos and win more interactions than the others. And he also doesn't have plus on block normals. Luke has crouching medium punch, Akuma has standing medium punch, Ryu has his forward heavy punch. They all have ways to force the opponent to block and keep the pressure going through those means, but Ken is more reliant on his drive rush or specials and to force the opponent to block. So Luke is the new face of Street Fighter. He boasts a fairly similar kit with his Fireball and DP game, but he has some interesting variations that make him a unique character that has some surprising depth to him. So to start off, I'm not going to necessarily say this is a pro because it's kind of just a difference, but Luke does have hit scan fireballs. This is a big difference as all the other ones tend to have the slow mediable fireballs, which you can also drive rush behind at times, especially is pretty useful. But this type of fireball does present unique challenges as you can kind of poke from full screen on characters. So again, it's a big difference, and you are playing a fairly different fireball game than the other Shotos. So if that interests you, you'd rather have the other ones, then arguably be more in the con situation for some people, as the slow fireball you can drive rush behind or the meaty fireball game tends to be pretty useful. Another pro is his Oki. Him and Akuma have very strong Oki that's fairly easy to set up, but Luke, especially with the buffs he got, back throw someone into the corner, you can do a immediate meaty heavy kick that leaves you +1. He has his tackle off of his primary combo ender. So off of his combos that end in heavy knuckle, especially mid-screen, you can do an auto-timed shoulder tackle that's +3, leaves you right in their face. So very strong, easy to run Oki, that's simple to learn, and it's pretty effective. But now the biggest pro of Luke is his buttons. He has arguably the best buttons of the Shotos with decent range, good damage, solid risk reward. He has this great standing medium kick to poke. You get strong meterless damage off of his heavy knuckle. You get his plus on block crouching medium. That's also drive rush cancelable, special cancelable. So again, all these in tune are pretty strong. Cons of him. The main con is kind of like Ryu, where you are playing an honest game. You don't really have gimmicks to skip the neutral, and kind of force your opponent to guess outside of, again, that corner throw game, which a lot of characters in Street Fighter have. It's not like a unique thing to Luke or the Shotos. He does have good drive rush, and he has his drive rush overhead. He can do a charged flash knuckle to be plus on block as well, but again, these tools are very easily checked, so you do have to play that honest neutral game, but he's very strong at playing a defensive reactive play style. Another con I'm going to mention is kind of more of just a learning curve thing, is that you do need to learn your knuckle timings. You do need to learn how to do your perfect flash knuckles in order to get optimal damage, Oki, corner carry, etc. So that is something you're going to have to keep in mind when playing him and trying to pick him up. Last but certainly not least, Akuma. Akuma is the newest character in Street Fighter 6. He is a classic boss. He always comes out very strong, and he boasts a wide variety of tools and utility. So to start off with pros, at the moment his damage is the highest out of all the Shotos for the resource management. Very easily off of 2 bars spent, he did almost 4,000 damage off of a very easy confirmable heavy punch, which can reach fairly far, so his damage is very high. Another pro of Akuma is he has very good fireballs, not only having fast ground fireballs, but having the air fireball game, including the EX options to throw them off, and you can charge your fireballs all the way up to level 3, level 2, so again, very strong fireball game. Also, he has lots of ways to get plus frames and force strong Oki. He does have his standing medium punch, he has his standing heavy kick, drive rush, overhead, that's also plus on block, so lots of easy ways to run offense. And he has a lot of safe jumps, like if you do your light Tatsu into Sweep Ender, has the magic number there of plus 42, so he gets a safe jump off that and a lot of other situations, along again with just strong Oki with his meaty fireball and buttons. Another great pro of his is his walk speed. He has the best walk speed in the game, so you're going to feel like a god at footsies playing this character. He walks even faster than Chun-Li, so really strong. So all these offensive tools do make him a menace to deal with and a very strong character to play. So cons for Akuma, he does have fairly stubby buttons, specifically like his stand medium punch is the main way to force plus frames. And it's very stubby, it's very short range, like you've got to be right in there. He does have pretty short staying medium kick. His crouching medium kick is the shortest compared to especially Ken and Luke. His heavy punch is not bad range, so this does force him to rely a little bit at times on range on his forward heavy punch, and encourage you to throw out his heavy kick, which if the opponent is crouching, you will get blown up because it leaves you punish counter stay like -13 in their face. The other main con is he does have 9,000 health. Again, right now I don't think that health is low enough to justify the tools and damage he has, but it is still a con compared to their Shotos. It makes you a little less stable, and you have to be confident in the plays and reads you're making, otherwise you can get blown up. So overall, all 4 of the Shotos in this game are really strong. They're all worth playing. They teach you the game while being really fun and satisfying, and they have a great learning curve to bring you into the game and lead to mastery. So you can't go wrong with any of them. Let me know if this video helped you pick who you want to main out of these Shotos, or if it maybe helped you change your mind, like, oh, I was going to main this one, but now I'm going to switch. Let me know. And as always, thank you for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe. And peace. Have a good one.